Good morning, my name is Joe Sweeney. I'm the biological father of Sam Sweeney. His date of birth is 13th December 91. It's 8:30 in the morning, Sunday 30th of May 2021. Another little video regarding Sam. Today's subject is called the clock. What do I mean by clock? I mean this is a digital clock, and I'll explain. First of all, I'll explain how it works and explain why it works with Sam. Okay, so you'll see there's three buttons on here. To reset it to 0, press the outside two together and then the middle one. Oh, right, that goes to 0. This one, it increases by the minute. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Oh, hang on, where am I going? Let's try again. Well, you're only interested in the minutes anyway. So, okay, so we'll put 5 minutes on there. And then you press the middle one, which says start, stop, pretty self-explanatory. And you'll notice, however, this now counts backwards. 4 minutes, 55 seconds, 54 seconds. When it gets 0, it'll set an alarm. Tiny little alarm. It's that simple. That's how to set a clock. You can set 1 minute, 10 minutes, 120 minutes, whatever you want. But that's how it works. It's a tiny little alarm clock, if you want to think about it like that. It's visual, it counts backwards, and it's never wrong. That's an important thing to mention. Now, we use this with Sam. Why? What you have to understand is when you're working with Sam, he's constantly looking at you, personally you, thinking, who is this person? Is there anything they can do that can negatively affect my life? Can they take things away? Can they restrict me? Can they force me? Again, I use words like force and make and coerce, and not in a very negative way. You understand what I'm saying. I'm not saying forcing him physically or threatening him or intimidating him or anything like that, because it's always his choice. But he has to know what the choice is, and it's our job to encourage him to take the right path in life, make the right decisions. Easier said than done. I'll explain along with the videos subsequently to this how to go about that. Anyway, getting back to this clock, the biggest driver in Sam's life, without anything else, is his control. Sam has to be in control, because Sam comes from a point of fear of life, fear, scared, doesn't understand things because he hasn't received an education. That things haven't been explained because we don't possess, or he doesn't possess the ability to talk and discuss. It just simply, he hasn't allowed himself to be taught. That was my point all along. When we have got him into an environment, I say academic environment, I mean sitting at a table, when he's talking, he's looking in your eyes as you're talking. If you're talking to Sam, if you're talking to Sam and Sam starts doing this while you're talking, stop talking. Why are you talking when he's not looking at you? Stop talking. When he looks back at you, start again from the beginning, because you're increasing the amount of time that you're spending. He knows this, and he comes to the conclusion that the quickest way he wants to get this over, you talking to him, he wants to get this over with, is to listen, do this. And then that reduces it, because if he starts doing this, you'll start again, and it'll go on and on and on. He wants to reduce it, so you'll get the compliance in that respect. So, getting back to things you can take away from him. Now, in the event of violence, and I mean like grabbing arms or physical violence, as I've explained numerous times and certainly done a video on it, the carer must always, every time they're with him, I don't care if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 10 hours, they have to know the next thing that Sam is looking forward to. We know for a fact at this moment in time, hopefully there'll be more, please God, there'll be more, is seeing Dad Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. That's the pattern so far. So today's Sunday. So there you are, today's Sunday. So he's going to see me about 1 o'clock today for lunch. The carer with him this morning, if he goes to grab, if he gets angry and he does this, you just say, see Dad. That's enough. You can say, do you want to see Dad 1 o'clock this afternoon? That's too long. By the time you've said that, he's done it. Just sit, Dad, or just Dad. He'll stop. That will give you the time to say, if you do that, if you hurt me, there'll be no Dad today. And again, I've done this in another video. If he continues, And he knows every word you've said. He fully understands the consequence of what you're saying. But if it's the first time you've said it, he's prepared to roll the dice and maybe run the risk of not seeing Dad, because most people in his life are liars. He's proven that to himself over and over again. Are you lying? Do you really mean it? So he might do it deliberately, in which case you must take away that visit this afternoon. You must. But as soon as you take that away in your mind, you have to have the next one ready, which will be Tuesday. So he does that, and you say, right, that's it, no Dad today. He will get hacked off, knee-jerk reaction. You take something away from me, I'll get mine back on you, blah, 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 blah. He might do it again. As he goes to do it again, you have got to say straight away, Dad, Tuesday. Invariably, that never happens. I mean, I rarely remember him ever going to 2 sets of violence. Because if he does, then you go to the third one. Once you've taken it or something significant away from Sam, i.e. his visit, he will never be violent to that person. If it's you that's saying it to him, he'll never be violent to you again, because you've proven you've got power. You can take something away that he wants. That's it. And that's on the violent side. He was violent for 2 years. Well, not 2019. He's been there 2 years now. And that's crept back because exactly for these reasons. He's testing people. They say, right, I'll do this. He does it. They think, perhaps he didn't understand me. Perhaps he didn't hear me. No. He's 25 years of this. Anyway. So that's the violent side. Now, to get him to comply generally, if he's doing something, you say, Sam, I'd like you to... Right, as soon as you say, Sam, he doesn't want... He's not interested. He doesn't want to hear you. He will do anything to not hear you. He'll walk away. Whatever. Well, it's simply not good enough. He can listen to it. He can listen to what you're going to ask him and then get upset. We all do. Somebody says to me, Joe, can you turn around and say, can you do that? Well, no, I'm not going to do that for whatever reason. Or yes, I will. Or whatever it's going to be. But I listen to the request or command, request, instruction, whatever it is. So that's the first thing. You get him to listen to you. So he knows what this is. Clock. You say clock. This is what he thinks of. There's no... Clock. He knows this is clock, right? For good reasons, which I'll come to. So it can be standing there. You say, I know, and again, I'm trying to portray incidents, and it'll be different every time. But if you're talking, if he's standing there, say, right, Sam, and he goes, I go, sorry. First of all, stop with this nonsense. Go back to where you took 2 years. We have this circular pattern all the time where, again, we know the reasons he does things. It's not like, I wonder why he's reacting like that. I wonder what causes him. We know why. He's trying to dominate. He's trying to project himself on you. You can't allow that to happen. You're trying to help him. So you say, could you? Sorry, what did you? Excuse me? Right, stand still and listen to what I'm going to say. He understands that. Exactly. No time ever does he not understand that. If he goes to walk away, you can just say, stand here and listen, or you can have a clock for fill in the blank. You can say 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Whatever you say, though, you must keep up. So you can say 2 minutes. Right, come here, stand still, listen, or 2 minutes on the clock. You saying 2 minutes on the clock, he knows what you mean. There's no doubt he knows what you mean. Now, what do you mean? When you give him time out, let's just put 2 minutes on the clock. Right. He said how easy this is. Can't do it. Right. Okay, so that's counting down now. 2 minutes on the clock, it's counting down. So what happens when this is going on? Right, I'll tell you what happens. He has to sit in a chair that you say. If you say, right, sit in a chair. If you say sit in that chair, and he goes and sits in the chair over there. No. He's got to do, you have to leave him in no doubt you are in charge. So what you say goes. That sounds very bullish, and he's not hurting him, he's just enforcing a bit. He has to do what you're asking him to do. So, if he, no, okay, sit there, or, so you say, okay, sit there, Sam, and he goes to sit in this other chair. 100% he knows exactly what he's done. He's testing you all the time, test. So, now, I said sit there, I said 2 minutes on the clock, sit there, or you can have 5 minutes on the clock. Bang, Sam knows straight away, okay, no, 2 minutes, he goes and sits there. While he's sitting down, he has to sit there, with his hands on his lap, in his lap, it's just like this. No talking, no flap, no, just sit, just do nothing, just sit there. If you want to start going, okay, and this is the whole point. If he doesn't do that, and this is what you have to do, okay, right, and it could be, so it's down to 41 seconds or 40 seconds or whatever. Oh, okay. Right, 2 minutes again. Sit still for 2 minutes. Now, again, it sounds testing you. Do you? You don't mean this. Hundreds of people have said they're going to do this, and eventually I get my own way. I just keep misbehaving, and you're giving. You're giving. You always do. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. You can up it. You can go, no, it's 3 minutes now. In fact, every time he starts doing it, you say, well, you can have 3 minutes. Okay, you can have 4 minutes. You can have 5. Do you want 10 minutes? But you must keep your word. If you say 10 minutes, it's got to be 10 minutes. Now, he's now stuck because he knows he's got to sit here. And while he's sitting there, he's absolutely seething with anger because you're telling him, sit there, sit still, and you have to wait until this finishes, gets down to 0. And you can't do anything else. That's control. And that's psychologically having a huge impact on him going, oh my God, this person's in control. What's he got to lose by not doing what you say? He's going to have to sit there. And sitting there, you could beat Sam up. Well, you couldn't, but I mean, let's say you did beat him up, the anger. Do you think that would mean anything to Sam? He's had violence in his life for the first 5 years. Not by me, obviously, but he suffered the most horrendous violence in the first 5 years of his life. He's had it all before. Oh, there you go again. It's beat me up. That's what people do. Violence. It's just people want you to do something, get your own way, use violence. So, surprise, surprise. That's exactly what I do now. Not like I used to. He's coming back doing it again. So that wouldn't help. Taking something away, it's got to have to be very significant. I see Dad. I'm not bigging myself up. He just likes to see me for some reason. That would have an impact, but to impose your control over him is the worst thing in the world because you're taking away his control. If you're in control, he can't be in control, and that is the time when let's say the magic works. I mean that's the whole point. Because he's sitting there thinking, I can't get out of this. There is no way. I've got no route out of this without incurring more time, and the more time I lose, more time this person in control, which I'm trying to get rid of. So he's worked out in his head the quickest way to reduce the amount of time of you being in control is whatever it says, 2 minutes, I'll sit there quietly for 2 minutes and then get it over with. But you've always got that threat there. So every time he misbehaves or does something or you ask him to do something and you get a really adverse reaction, no, he understands that he can say, no, thank you. Okay, if he says no, thank you, that's a polite way of saying he doesn't want to do it. There may be a genuine reason why he doesn't want to do something. There's a reason. You can look at it and make a decision. But no, it's not acceptable. It hasn't been acceptable for the last 15 years. Why you'd accept it, I have no idea. But this is his little God. And also, of course, he's looking for ways of getting control. And you put 2 minutes on this clock. You're in control of his time for 2 minutes, but he knows that in 2 minutes, he gets his control back. So he's kind of in control thinking, well, I've only got to sit this out 2 minutes till I get my control back. Fine. It's that feeling we want Sam to have that he's sitting there thinking, there's somebody else in the universe apart from me that has authority. It's not, I don't do what I want, when I want, how I want, which is the way a lot of people are treating you at the moment, which is so wrong. So this is going to be your friend. This is going to be, it'll get to the stage where you just look at him and say, clock. And he knows it's an implied threat. That's there you go. You can't threaten him. Well, you know what I mean by threat. You're implying a sanction, if that's a nice way of saying it. He's like, oh, okay, it's not worth it. It's not worth doing it. Because that, even if it's for a minute, you can do it for 1 minute, literally 1 minute. Even that minute, it's reminding him that he's not in control of whatever he wants to do, where he wants to go, do what he likes. No. That's not the real world. And once you start establishing with him the fact that you have power, authority, whatever, your life becomes so much easier because you have clock. That word, clock. Bang. Oh, I know that is dead. Oh, lose seeing my dad. So there's two powerful things that you have, and that's really almost all you need in the way of sanctions. Really, that's really all you need. I hope that's been useful. You have to use the clock. You have to. It has to become. Use it for a week or 2 weeks, and after 2 weeks you won't need to. Because he goes, Sam, could you clock? Oh, okay, what was it? You said, okay, yeah, that's fine. Job done. So it's just a way to get over that wall that Sam's had to build himself, and you can't blame him for building this wall that poor guy's been through. But we know how to do it, and once you're over that, it's pretty easy going with Sam. There's no reason why he won't listen. We don't, you know, I don't do everything that people ask me to do because I think it's not worth doing. It's the wrong thing to do. But I listen to the whole thing. Okay, now I'm going to make a decision. That's all I'm asking, or we're making Sam do. Yes, mate, we're making him to listen to the whole thing. He may not understand all the words you use. Of course he might not. He doesn't, you know. Eventually he will in time. But at least he's getting used to when you say, Sam, can you... That knee-jerk reaction is gone. It's just, Sam, could you... And he's like, okay, go on then. What are you going to ask me now? Yeah. No, thank you. But he's stopped and he's listened. And that knocks on to when you're teaching to read or write or doing anything, you're breaking down the barrier of just communication, just so when he hears the word Sam, before you say anything else, it's like la 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 la, that kind of equivalency. Anyway, I hope this helps. But it's important to use it. But you must, if you threaten for 2 minutes and he does something, you must implement it. Otherwise, you undermine every other carer that's using it, and all their work they're doing, all the hard work they're doing, you're just throwing it out the window. So, just please be consistent. Please, just be consistent. We'll have off days, you know. I'm not 100%, but I like to be at high 90%. But just try, please, to be consistent, okay? And you'll see within 2 weeks the benefit to you personally. If you're using the system, you'll be thinking, well, hasn't it been used all the time? Well, it has been used all the time. It's just not been enforced and used in this environment. And it was agreed 2 years ago and a year ago, but it seems to have slipped by for some reason. Anyway, I hope that's been helpful to you, and thank you for everything you do for my son and may do in the future. Thank you. Bye for now.